Bahasa Indonesia as we speak it today is actually the result of gradual perfection over the years. The question is, how has it changed? What has changed? Who changed it all? Now, let's first take a look back at the kingdom era of Indonesia, or Nusantara. The ancient inscription said that Bahasa Indonesia is actually a development from the real Malayan language and was used during the Nusantara era. The language is used as a lingua franca or the connector language in almost every region in Southeast Asia because Nusantara is very big at that time. Time flies. In the 14th century, many people came to the Nusantara because it was rich in spices. Arabs, Gujaratis, and even the Chinese arrived with some settling in the Nusantara. Along with them, Islam was introduced and blended with the local culture, and they also brought their language with them. Fun fact, this naming in Bahasa Indonesia is a development from Arabian language. Over time, people from the West also came to Indonesia in search of spices. The Portuguese arrived, but not long after they settled, they were expelled by the Dutch, or more specifically, the VOC. The Dutch, through the VOC, firmly established their presence in the Nusantara, even changing its name to the East Indies. During their time here, they significantly influenced the Indonesian language, and many Dutch words are still used in daily Bahasa Indonesia as of today. Moving into the 19th century, the Dutch began considering the standardization of Bahasa Indonesia, which led to the development of a spelling system. In 1901, a Dutch professor, Charles A. van Ophuijsen, conducted the standardization of the Malay language along with two educators, Nawawi Sultan Makmur and Muhammad Taif Sultan Ibrahim. Their work was published in a book called Kitab Logat Melayu. This effort reformed the Malay language for use in Indonesia, as it was still written in the Jawi alphabet at that time. They simplified it by introducing the use of Latin alphabet with sounds resembling Dutch pronunciation. However, there are several key features of the Van Ophuijsen spelling system worth noting. The use of the letter G for Y sound, the use of the letter Ch for C sound, the use of the letter J for J sound, the use of letter Oi for vocal U, and the use of diaresis including comma, apostrophe, and trema. This is basically for Indonesian words that come from Arabian language, and the use of the letter Sh for Sh sound, the use of the letter Y for Y sound, and the use of the letter Ch for H sound. Additionally, vowel letters are sometimes marked with diaresis above the letter to indicate that the letter is pronounced as a single sound rather than a diphthong. Also during this time, specifically in 1928, the youth of Indonesia made a pledge that Bahasa Indonesia would be used as a language to unify the country. The spelling changed over time, specifically 2 years after Indonesia gained its independence. In 1947, the Minister of Justice Raden Suwandi proposed a new spelling system. This new spelling system simplified the Van Ophuijsen system. For example, it replaced the letter OE with U, and another important change was the sound of Hamzah, which was replaced according to the words. For instance, the word rakyat was changed to rakyat. Repeated words could add the number 2 as a suffix, though it wasn't really used as a official spelling. Suwandi also eliminated the diaresis that Van Ophuijsen had introduced, so the word saat became saat without the diaresis. This rule also applied to the letter E because he believed that for loan words or source words that did not use pepet, it was unnecessary to include it. Pepet itself refers to a diacritical mark used in the Indonesian and Malay language. To simplify, pepet modifies the pronunciation of a letter by indicating a schwa sound. For example, in the word melek, you can see there are 2 E's, but they are pronounced differently where the first E is sounding like a schwa sound while the second one is sounding clearer. However, Suwandi thinks it's still fine about the use of OE instead of U. In 1956, the Minister of Teaching, Education and Culture issued a decree to establish a committee for the new spelling system. After a year of work led by Pirono and Patopo, the committee finally implemented some new changes to the spelling system with the aim of perfecting the Swanee spelling. They sought to simplify the representation of phonemes by consolidating two letters into one. For example, the word jangan in the Swanee spelling was using two letters for indicating one phoneme, while the renewal spelling was only using one letter. Additionally, some diphthongs such as I, au, and oi were pronounced as a, au, and oi, and this also led to change in spelling some words. However, the spelling did not last long and was not widely implemented due to various pros and cons. While it simplified consonant grouping, some letters also became difficult to write, especially when using a typewriter, as there were no keys for certain letters like ng, ny, and sh. In 1959, Indonesia became a close friend of Malaysia, and they attempt to create a new spelling system that incorporated Bahasa Indonesia, Latin, and Malaysian language. This new spelling was developed because some vocabulary containing one phoneme represented by two letters was inconvenient. Again, the spelling was not widely implemented due to technical issues with the writing system, as well as the confrontation between Indonesia and Malaysia in 1962. 1 year after the confrontation, specifically in 1967, Indonesia sought to continue the Melindo spelling with the new spelling. Minister Sarino Mangunpranoto issued a decree and formed a committee composed of members from the Language and Literature Institute of Indonesia and also a committee from Malaysia. The spelling introduced several changes that simplified the Melindo system. Some foreign letters like Z, Y, and F were approved for Indonesian spelling because many words include those letters. Additionally, the letter E was no longer differentiated from pepet, as there were not many words that used pepet. However, spelling changes were not implemented because the public felt that the new spelling imitated the Malaysian language and the urgency for change was not so significant. For at least 25 years, the Swanee spelling was used until it was finally changed to the perfected Indonesian spelling by Masyuri Saleh, which was officially implemented on August 17, 1972. The government then published the general guidelines for the perfected Indonesian spelling system, known as PYD or PUEBI. The PUEBI significantly aids in structuring the Indonesian language, as it contains numerous grammatical rules used in daily life. It is now used as a guideline for understanding basic Indonesian, especially because it includes systems that may not be present in many other countries. It officially includes 26 letters, aligning with the Latin alphabet used by most countries worldwide. It also now approves not only diphthongs, but also monophthong. So far, the perfected Indonesian spelling has reached its 5th edition. However, I don't believe it will stop there, as language is always developing and evolving until the end of the time.